If you could access the source code of your own life, would you hit run? Lately, I've been doing something slightly controversial. I've been feeding my personal birth data into the world's most powerful AI models, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and Gemini from Google. As a London-based AI designer and a fortune teller in BaZi, I wasn't looking for very vague fortune cookie advice. I brought with curiosity and was looking for patterns, the clarities, and what I found actually gave me goosebumps. I spent months stress testing these models with a custom prompt designed to audit their underlying logic, like a fortune teller normally did. And when I found that perfect synergy between the right model and the right data, the analysis is stunningly accurate. It's like the AI finally decodes your life system logs with total clarity. And nowadays, you can even use this data to visualize your life in a way we never thought about could be possible before. It could be a precise K-line graph of your wealth circles or a very beautiful personalized painting of your own energy map. So seeing your journey modeled with this level of insights, it's absolutely life-changing. But here's the thing, most people are asking the AI the wrong question, and in this video I'm going to show you why you should never ask for a direct prediction and how to use AI for life modeling instead. And when I say life modeling is just theory until you test it against the reality. To show you how this actually works, we will need a high-stakes case study, someone whose installation parameters are literally well-known across the world. Yeah, I'm going to stress test the life of Steve Jobs to see if the Apple code was actually hidden in his elemental data. But before we crack his code, if you're new here, hi, I'm Inner. I spend my days designing AI in London and my nights exploring these ancient systems like BaZi. This channel is for the passionate people who want to break through their tech barriers, use AI to build sustainable income, and stay adaptable in this world that's moving way too fast. I'm giving my exact prompt template at the end of this video, but first, let's understand the algorithm we're actually dealing with today. Whenever we feel lost, most of us turn to things like star signs or tarot cards for a vibe check. These are the most common ways we look for answers. And in my world as a fortune teller, I use the system called BaZi or 8 characters. And from an AI designer's perspective, it's actually just an elegant data structure with thousands of years of predefined patterns. Think of it like this. BaZi translates the space-time coordinates of your birth, the exact year, month, day, and hour, into 8 symbols called the 4 pillars. I'd also call these your initialization parameters, as in your default settings. These symbols represent the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. In AI terms, this is essentially we call tokenization. We're taking the complexities of a human life and converting them into a standardized set of tokens that somehow a large language model can actually process. The interaction between these tokens, like how wood feeds fire or how earth bears metal, is really just an ancient algorithm for a closed-loop system. It's rooted in the I Ching, which is likely the world's oldest framework for understanding a universal truth. Everything has a pattern, and all patterns are influenced. The element on your day pillar is normally the most important ones. It represents your core character. And as a fortune teller, I look for types of harmony, mainly those 2 types. inner harmony within yourself. I'm gonna see if your day pillar element is circulating smoothly among the other elements. And there's another one called the outer harmony with the external world. So I would also determine if the current year, month, and day, sometime the time, supports that internal balance. So when I feed BaZi to an AI, I'm not asking for magic and all the things. I'm asking the model to perform complex pattern recognition on the most important data set you already have on your life. To prove this isn't just digital noise, let's audit the life of the ultimate tech icon, Steve Jobs. I put 3 of the world's top models to the test: Gemini, ChatGPT, and DeepSeek. And honestly, the results were polarizing. So I always start with a manual sanity check using my professional fortune-telling tools. And this is like the pre-flight check. If the AI fails to identify the basic 4 pillars correctly, and the entire analysis is just a hallucination. Steve Jobs' pattern is shown by the 8 elements, each with its own color, and the key one for him is the fire element on his day pillar. We mentioned that earlier, which is like the strong sunlight. I use that to figure out which model is more accurate. So first up, Gemini. I used its latest thinking mode, and well, goodbye, Gemini. It identified Jobs as it would in the day pillar, which is the most important pillar, and it was just fundamentally wrong. And if a model can identify the core element, it has 0 chance of understanding how that person reacts to the life circles. Okay, next, ChatGPT. I'm using the latest 5.2 thinking mode. Right away, the sanity check passed. It correctly identified Steve as a being fire in the day pillar, which is the sun. Oh, look at the system clash it found. It pointed the friction between 1991 and 2001 as a period defined by major resets and turning points. And we all know he returned to Apple in 1997 and changed the world. This is somehow the Apple code in the action. But here is the crazy part. Look, it actually looked into all his life circle and only picked from 2011 to 2021 and flagged as a severe crash. A warning of extremely stress and the system shut down. And as we know, unfortunately, 2011 is the year Steve passed away, and the AI isn't just summarizing the Wikipedia things, it's explaining the elemental logic behind his timeline. And I know Steve also interested and have a passion in these type of thing. Think about how, if he's still alive, those code could be interpreted in the different ways. Finally, I tested DeepSeek, the Chinese AI model. It acted like a high-level executive coach. It correctly mapped the BaZi and pointed out that Steve was designated for a specialist path rather than a generalist one. It explicitly noted his earlier rebellion against authority and even pre-predicted the health issue in 2011, especially mentioned about heart and digestive systems. It even touched on his complex family dynamics and his legendary perfectionism. Now here's something fun. I first tested DeepSeek with an English prompt. It actually got the BaZi wrong, the 4 pillars, but as soon as I switched to my Chinese prompt, the logic became flawless. It's like the model needs to speak its native tongue to unlock its full power. It's such a fascinating discovery. And my recommendations on, if you have access to DeepSeek, you can use my Chinese prompt. If you're using ChatGPT, you can stick with the advanced reasoning models. And just make sure you get the burst time and time zone exactly correct. Otherwise, you're auditing the wrong life. Do not do that. I've spent months testing these models and with different people. So you can use my template to start a dialogue with these models right away. And you can even add your own questions, the things you're curious about in this section. But I have to be very, 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 very honest with you. If you don't have the correct date or time of birth, or if you haven't built the mental resilience to handle the glimpse into your own source code, don't go looking for answers. Why? Because if you aren't careful, you will end up become the puppet of your own expectations. You're effectively outsourcing your executive power to an AI algorithm, if you see what I mean in here. Think about it. If the AI tells you success is guaranteed, your brain just stopped processing the hard work that's needed to get there. And if, let's say, another day, the AI tells you your system is falling, you will have bad luck this year, and your internal system crushes. You might even make excuses on, I have bad luck. You've been stopping being the developer of your life and started becoming a passive user of a probability score. This is a dangerous place to be. And in my work as a fortune teller, I know that words have weight. AI doesn't feel the huge responsibility, and it doesn't care if its advice ruins your year. Instead of predicting, use AI for life modeling. Don't ask what will happen, when will we die. Ask, given my current default setting, what are my blind spots? Use AI more like a debugger, not Oracle. Now, here is the most important part of this video, the 3 types of questions you should never ask AI. First thing first, the deadline questions. Anything about life, death, or health, AI can hallucinate, and your brain or the person you ask cannot unsee a projected deadline. It's a bug that crushes your mental health, and to the others as well. The second one is the loyalty questions. Is my partner cheating? AI can model patterns, but it cannot measure the human soul or the choice of the free will. It depends on different situations and is super complicated. The third one is the permission questions. Should I quit my job? Never outsource this as your agency. AI is not your CEO. If you let an algorithm make your big moves on those kind of decisions, you're not owning your own life. The algorithm is owning your own life. For me, using AI to explore BaZi has never been about finding a single fixed truth. It's about expanding my cognitive boundaries. So once you stop treating AI as an oracle to give you answers, you can start using it to see your life from entirely different angles. And this shift in perspective from seeking the truth to seeking perspective. I'm Inner. If this video gave you a new lens to look through, hit like and subscribe my channel. Or tell me in the comments what's the one thing you want to patch in your life this year. And my prompt templates are in the descriptions below. Go model your future, but never forget you are the one who hits run. Thank you for your time and cheers!